Hello everyone, and now welcome to game number 1 from the AWL Group D. This is going to be Yumiko versus Moon in this game 1 match taking place here on Echo Isle. Thank you to everyone who has been contributing to me, checking out my Patreon page, and supporting me through PayPal. It really does definitely help. I don't know if you guys know, but YouTube recently, a lot of gamer videos, funding and advertising got cut short because a lot of gamers, did a little bit of a rant that was not really politically correct, trying to draw viewers and trying to get more views that way. And because of that, a lot of advertisers dropped gaming from their category altogether. So hence that is the reason why ads are just not enough to really support me, especially with the number of viewers that I have. Not that I am complaining, I'm just stating the facts right now. I want to thank everyone who is currently watching, and if you guys do like what you see, definitely subscribe, give me a like, let me know, leave a comment below, and we'll get things underway. Anyways, in the first 2 minutes of the game, we can pretty much see what's happening already. It is going to be a Warden coming in from Moon, a very, very classic choice, going up against a Mountain King. So two heroes that are generally custom tailored for this specific map. The Mountain King able to get some good stuns and surrounds early on to get a little bit of that lead. Human players are also able to just expand down and militia creep out this Ogre Magi 533 creep camp to get that economic advantage. Now, Moon is a Night Elf player who does like to set up expansions, and because of that, I wouldn't be surprised if a Tree of Life did come down. And that's actually one of the big risks that humans have on this map here, where if they try and stay behind to protect their expansion to get that economic advantage that they so desperately want and need, all of a sudden they may see that there is no economic advantage at all because their opponent has an expansion as well. Warden has come across, has been slowed down a bit. You can see a Forest Troll Shadow Priest has been hired up. Very, very important to get that Forest Troll Shadow Priest just in case your opponent does go for a Water Elemental, as we now see a Talisman of Evasion drop for that Warden. Back down over here on the bottom left, Mountain King gonna go ahead and clear out this Ogre Magi creep camp. 533 creep camp cleared out extremely quickly. Mountain King has taken a little bit of damage here, and we should be looking at perhaps an Arcane Tower followed by a Town Hall. That Arcane Tower is absolutely necessary to protect all of these workers from, well, the Fan of Knives and also the Shadow Strikes that Warden is so deadly with against workers early on in the game. Moon most likely will be reading that. Oh, that Tome of Strength apparently not worth the time to read, even though it is 25 hit points. I'm being facetious. I absolutely do not understand why players do not read these tomes. It's extra hit points just sitting right there. You're gonna walk right by it. And, well, perhaps Moon's attention is split elsewhere. Down across here, you can see that a Wisp is scouting out this location, sees that there is an expansion, and now the ball is in Moon's court. What is he going to do with this information? He is setting up that Tree of Life hidden off behind the corner here, as I expected him to do. I am now looking at the Moon's Warden, and he is going to be able to get that Warden up to level 3 without much of an issue, clearing out this creep camp here. Alright, during this time, the Mountain King suspects and perhaps knows that Moon is going to be setting up that expansion now. Let's take a look at this. The Arcane Tower will be upgraded momentarily as the Mountain King does get to level 2. He is a little bit behind right now. He doesn't have an Arcane Vault for the extra heal, as the Mountain King only has Boots of Speed, Staff of Teleportation, and Dust of Appearance. We're going to be looking at a Tree of Life perhaps making its way down here in just a moment. Ancient of War also making that slow trek. Is the Warden going to perhaps land a Shadow Strike or go after these units? Going to go ahead and attack, go after this Ogre Magi here, taking a bit of damage. That Shadow Strike doing a bit right there, as the Ancient of War is going to make its way down here, root itself for a bit of extra protection, and we see a bit of that evasion coming into effect. Tree of Life now going to be making its way across, could kind of eat its way through some trees, as we're looking at the Mountain King of Yumiko getting up to level 3 as well, and picking up Claws of Attack +9. We are not teching the tier 2 as of yet on either side. We are going to Tree of Ages by Moon, and Moon is going to have a bit of a technological advantage while stabilizing the economic advantage here in just a moment. This is one of the big problems. You cannot allow your opponent, well, you better know exactly what your opponent is doing if you do not try to harass them early. We do see a Huntress now coming out here. We are looking at, what is the supply count? I cannot tell until I see a building. There we go, 30 over 50 compared to 48 over 48. Yumiko definitely has the advantage here, but he does not have an easy way to get more mana onto that Mountain King until he builds that all-important Arcane Vault. Also, without water elementals, those Huntresses are going to be that much more deadly. Mountain King is sitting at level 3. There is a Sentry Ward. Units are going to be pulled back here. There's a Shadow Strike onto that one Forest Troll Berserker, and that is a very high priority target who is now significantly slowed by that damage. However, the Warden gonna come out, does a blink, beautifully done there. Shadow Strike onto the Forest Troll Shadow Priest, as well as the Mountain King focused and used a lot of energy to try and surround a Warden, not knowing that that Warden's second skill was blink. Yumiko now building and upgrading this town hall into a keep. That makes a lot of sense. You want to be able to call to arms at your other base. Oh, hold on. My daughter wants to say hi.
Hi.
All right. Hello, everyone. As we are going to be looking at the Warden clearing up the rest of this Goblin Merchant Shop. Moon now setting up and entangling this gold mine. He is a little, yes, that was a wisp. A lot of gold there, and about 2,000 gold behind, and well, that will be equalized in just a moment. Meanwhile, the Warden of Moon getting that much closer to level 5, and once the Warden hits 5, it is going to be a very, very dangerous hero to deal with. Calling to arms all of a sudden becomes a double-edged sword, as those militia do die very quickly, and as they die, their bodies become, well, fodder. And, well, what is this? Oh, Staff of Teleportation is going to land in time. Yes, Mountain King does land in time. Is he get a Stormbolt onto the Troll Shadow Priest? Level 2 Stormbolt doing its damage right away. Meanwhile, the Mountain King coming across doing so much damage as well. Is the Mountain King going to have enough mana? He's trying to go after all these units, unable to chase after the Forest Troll, or the Huntress off over here. Mountain King Stormbolt. There goes the Forest Troll Berserker, as the Mountain King now comes back the other way. Mountain King does have Boots of Speed. Could finish off another Huntress here in just a moment. Trying to get into harm's way, but no, there goes another Huntress there, picking off units left and right, as the Mountain King still has enough mana for another Stormbolt. All right, Wisp going to be able to hide right here. Meanwhile, Mountain King going to head off to the north, perhaps try and clear out this north Goblin Marketplace, as there is a scout farm here. Mountain King now healing back up, sitting at level 3 on the cusp of level 4. Meanwhile, archers, huntresses, all these units sitting at 34 over 50 supply, and compared to 40 over 66, the big economic or supply advantage that Yumiko had earlier on is now for naught, as we now go into dual Arcane Sanctums. Dual Arcane Sanctums, Spellbreakers, Priest, most likely going to be the targets there, as the Spellbreakers are decently effective against those Dryads with that medium armor, able to resist that piercing damage just a bit. However, with the tech to Tree of Eternity, bears are going to be just around the corner, and bears, once they get to tier 2, can destroy all of those Spellbreakers. It is important, if the Spellbreakers are able to remove mana from those Druids of the Claw before those Druids of the Claw can transform, that all of a sudden becomes a big, big blow there. All right, there is a Wisp. Wisp does get spotted and get quickly detonated, giving level 4 to the Mountain King. He was just looking for level 4 any which way, and gets exactly that. All right, Warden, Shadow Strike there, followed by a Stormbolt, as the one footman is going to end up getting taken down. He is reflecting a bit of damage back, as the units are now trying to run every which way. Stormbolt, a little bit of overkill damage right there, 225 damage, as the Warden now has level 5. Level 3 Shadow Strike, the absolute one of the scariest things to see, as you're going to see that Warden get a 225 damage already off the bat, as now the Archmage is going to be in a bit of trouble. All right, transferring there. Oh, what was that? It looked like a possible blink. Are we going to see a scroll? Oh, Potion of Lesser Invulnerability right there. Units are now going every which way. 7 seconds of invulnerability. Scroll of Healing, I believe, was no use. No, the Priest are now trying to heal, as every Witch unit is trying to fight back again. No. Oh, Shadow Strike going to be coming in. It does get taken down. Archmage falls at level 1 and Blink dodges a Stormbolt. Beautifully microed play there. That, I believe, that Mountain King would have finished off the Warden with that stun. Instead, the Rejuvenation now coming across as the Warden lives to fight another day. Beautiful micro by Moon, as Moon now sits on a bank of 1,300 gold. Yumiko now finally upgrading the castle and maybe trying to get perhaps some mortars or some siege engines. We'll see if the workshop is around the corner. Ogre Magi gets finished off right here, picks up a Potion of Invulnerability. 15 seconds of absolute fun under the sun for a Mountain King, but that may be given to the Archmage in just a moment, as the Archmage, well, is a bit of a glass cannon at this point. Archmage very, very low on life, and this makes getting a second hero that much more difficult when your opponent can slow down, deal 225 damage towards your opponent's main or your support hero, considering that the Archmage only has 500. I do believe Shadow Strike is a physical attack, thereby your natural armor does get calculated into it, but that also means that the magic resistance is not brought into play. I'll have to double check that. I do remember reading up on that years and years and years ago, back in like 2003, so I do believe that is the case. Maybe it's 2004 when the Warden did finally come out. We do see bears though, and without any Griffin Aviaries, I do not believe we have the proper counter unit to deal with that number of bears. Bears very weak to magic attacks, and we do see 2 Dryads out on the field with a couple of Fairy Dragons as well. The Fairy Dragons will tear through those Sorceress. Those Priests will constantly be mana flared as well, and this is just looking like, well, an uphill battle for Yumiko. Yumiko will have to use any advantage that he can get in order to stay alive here, as we can see that the castle is about to be done. Brilliance Aura is now added that will allow for additional healing on those priests, more slow from those sorceresses, but I do believe the sorceresses slow will be just stopped by those by those dryads. All right, Spellbreaker caught in transit right there. Is it going to get taken out? Yes, it will. Down it goes. More units trying to fight back here, and Yumiko now realizes how big of a situation he is. All of these units are now heading back off to the north. The main army needs to head back down in from the south to get into position. We do have double scrolls of healing, and, well, the units are not even making their way off to the north yet. This is absolutely bad, as they're getting free attacks on all of these buildings. 74 over 72, upside down on supply. There's a roar right there, as the bears are going to be ready to go. All right, in comes the units. Are they going to be ready to engage? Militia getting called in. Wand of Illusion, Spellbreaker trying to get repositioned, and with no real front line, or the front line completely just all in the wrong spot. What is happening? Mana Flare up in the air there as the Mountain King tries to focus down units. Stormbolt onto the wrong unit right there. Fan of Knives. Are they going to be able to finish off? No, there is level 6, and there you have the Avatar of Vengeance. Militia are going to be that double-edged unit right there. As we mentioned, all of a sudden we have these Spirits of Vengeances out on the field. All right, the Spirit of Vengeances are immune to damage, and they are going to be the ones dealing the main damage, as all of these bears can just back off. No Staff of Preservation, though, on that Warden, so things could get a little bit dicey if the bears start to fall. Proper micro will be needed, as the bears are starting to fall left and right, but the Warden may even get to level 7 right here. Absolutely getting not really challenged at all. Back down to the south. Spirit of Vengeances just chasing after the main units, and what is one to do when you are trying to fight invulnerable units? All you can really do is run, as you see those spirits now chasing after and trying to focus down those priests. All right, one priest down to death, as 2 more are continuing to just focus on all of these targets. Archmage sitting at level 2, main base. Well, can you call it the main base when your main building is just a town hall? Units all now backing off here, and Moon showing why he is the 5th race of Warcraft 3, completely destroying any hope that Yumiko has here. Yumiko played a classic game and still unable to really catch up at all. All right, Fan of Knives, Archmage in serious trouble, trying to use as much healing as possible, trying to get away. Once this Archmage and Mountain King go, that's pretty much going to be the end of it. The Spirit of Vengeance is just going after that Archmage. Stormbolt onto the Warden, Potion of Invulnerability, 15 seconds of life, as the priests need to really be healing that Archmage there. All right, Mountain King trying to fight every which way back. This priest doing, or not targeting the right job here, as the Mountain King tries to go after the Warden. All right, Mountain King does have a Potion of Mana. Will it be able to land a Stormbolt? Trying to catch after it, as the Warden does have... Wait, Warden goes back in, trying to go after perhaps the other remaining units. Mountain King unable to catch up. Where is the Archmage? Archmage is hiding back off to the north here, as the units are trying to fight every which way. Scroll of Town Portal, level 8 Warden, as the remaining units are able to teleport away to safety. Yumiko sitting at 37 over 72. Moon sitting at 68 over 100, and Moon absolutely in control of this game, making Yumiko seem like a lesser tier player than he really is. Moon playing up to his old self right now, as the Archmage sitting at level 2 would really like to get to level 3, make sure that those water elementals are not as easy to abolish magic, and perhaps allowing the sorceresses slow to actually stick. Mountain King does not... Altar of Kings now being placed down. We might try to go for a Paladin for a tri-hero. And that's all you can really look to hope for right now. What are the chances that Yumiko can get back into this game? It will really boil down to how long this game can go. If Yumiko can stretch out the game longer, he will have mined more gold than his opponent, since he is not mining at low upkeep right now. Yumiko needs to win this war of attrition. Nope, he is finally in low upkeep, and he is significantly behind in the amount of gold left in those gold mines, 4,300 compared to 6,300. If this game goes long, the Warden will win. If the game goes short, the Warden and Moon will win, as we now see Chimeras being added into the fold. 1-2 upgraded bears. Chimeras, no siege attack. Very important to note, as Moon is trying to purposely hide these units. All right, where is the roost? I don't know. As we now taking a look over here, Avatar of Vengeance is back in play. And that's all what Moon was waiting for a new Avatar of Vengeance to be able to be brought in. You can take a look at this. 4 Chimeras ready to go. Guard Tower is in position. Wand of Illusion. And with this is going to be gone in an absolute second. There is the GG. Moon outscoring his opponent in the 2 major categories, units and hero level, getting up to a level 8 Warden. And we even got to see a level 1 Goblin Alchemist. Level 1 Goblin Alchemist. Wow. I would have liked to see how Yumiko could have used that, but no such luck. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game number 1 in this series. Please stay tuned for game number 2.